Hello and welcome to Comedy in a Nutshell, the podcast where comedy gets personal. It's not about punchlines alone, it's about what comedy means to the people who live it. Each episode we crack open the stories, moments and mindsets that shape how comedians see the world and why making people laugh matters so much. I'm the comedy nerd who's seen more than 2,000 different comedians perform live comedy, and you can find out more about my journey in comedy fandom on my website, thecomedynerd.com. Please also take a moment to like, subscribe, rate, review, and share the podcast. Thank you. My guests this episode are sketch and character comedy duo Madeline and Marina Bai. One an actor and producer as well as Goliath-trained clown, the other a more classically trained actor with roles on stage and screen. Together, the sisters Bai are a formidable, familial character comedy duo. It's comedians, siblings. I always ask my guests about comedy's influence on them when they were growing up, television, family, that sort of thing, but not all of my guests have a uniquely comedic pedigree like you do. So obviously for listeners who don't know, obviously there's Father Ed Bai, who's a producer, director, influenced in programs like with Jasper Carrot, Francis Saunders, Red Dwarf, that sort of thing, and Mum being legend, let's say, Ruby Wax. So when you were growing up, were they comedic influences or were they just like mum and dad, and what was influential on you then?
Good question. Woof
question.
for the pedigree.
Straight into the pedigree.
Yeah, I think that obviously being around, not only my parents, but the wonderful friends that they have and had. Undeniably you're watching as a child and you're going, wow, these people are really funny. I'm not sure why. Most of it's very inappropriate and I probably shouldn't be hearing more than half of this. But so obviously I think that goes into the brain. But, like a lot of kids don't do what their parents do. But I think really Maddie and I as individuals, I think growing up, figured it out later. Like, for example, I didn't, should I just, I'll just keep going.
Marina's going to
Maybe I'll do the whole podcast.
Marina
So I was born on the 5th of November, 1993.
Marina will tell her life story and then I'll go. Cesarean, guilty as charged. But
I think that, because I didn't do very well at school, and then I got into drama schools, and that was the first kind of institution that were like, yeah, you're okay. And so it was kind of like late in the day almost that I realized like, oh, maybe simply because it's process of elimination here, drama school is the actually only thing I can get into. I wanted to go to Bristol Old Vic to do English literature, but the only...
Bristol Old Vic is a theatre.
Excuse me, Bristol. Sorry.
You're such a thespian.
I'm so lesbian. Bristol, the Bristol one.
Yeah.
And I got such bad grades that the only one I could go to was one in Slough, and I've forgotten the name of it. Not that I have anything against Slough, but it wasn't on my list. And so, went to drama school at 18 but before that Maddie and I would always be performing as kids. I think that was in a way our family's language of kind of love. Obviously I need to do therapy about that, but
as do I,
as does she, but that was a sort of love language. So without us being conscious that it was probably going to be a career choice later on, it was always happening, and it was always our kind of form of communication to each other, was to be funny and weird and make videos and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Take it away, Maddie. Take it away.
Well, on the videos, I was going to say, if only they had TikTok then, because we would have been the weirdest kids. We would have been like viral kids, because we would ask for like camcorders for our birthday and then film just like 100 hours of the most weird.
Yeah.
It was definitely our pastime. And I don't think Marina says, I don't think we were even conscious of what we were doing. But looking back, I recently looked back for one of our previous shows. I wanted to see if there was anything we could put in the show from this footage. And it is hours and hours of sort of what we do now on stage, which is kind of a weird thing to see, that we weren't consciously doing it, but playing characters and dressing up in the most disgusting. Marina used to put a swim hat on her head and then cover her whole face and the swim hat in foundation.
Yeah.
And call herself Zelnab.
I think so.
Zelnab.
Something like that.
Something like that. And would run around the streets as this character. And it was truly gross, but it was one of the funniest.
Yeah, we like to scare, like moving cars would be coming down the street and then we'd quickly turn and look straight at the headlight and it would make cars like slightly crash. That was really fun.
That was how we got into comedy.
I can't believe we haven't killed anyone yet.
Yeah. I think you sort of said it all there, though. But like, I don't think it was never a thing that we thought, oh, we'll do that because they do that. It was never, ever that way inclined. For anything, they were never,
they weren't really
encouraging it to happen. Yeah. But I was working, so Marina was at drama school and I did go to uni. Thank you very much.
Yeah, she had a pencil case. I just wrote with my own blood. So
no, I had a pencil case.
I had a pencil
full of smelly gel pens. And I went to uni, and then I worked in an office for like 2 years, and then it wasn't like anything to do with my parents at all, our family at all. I just came across this clown school on the internet, and I completely got obsessed with the idea of going, and I was like, that is so crazy, like I'm never going to do that. And then I just quit my job and went to clown school, again not planned. Did that for 2 years. And I think when you're in there and you're with all these people, you're like, well, I've done that now, I can't go back to my office job. I did, because I had to make money after spending it all on clown school. So I was there, but you sort of are like, I've got to try this thing. And so I came out of clown school. I did a free fringe show with a few people I met there who are still doing comedy now and are amazing. And then I did a couple other shows and I decided I don't want to do it on my own. I definitely want to be in a double act. Who's the funniest person I know? And I was like, oh, it's Marina. And then I just threw her. Is that nice?
That's nice. It's really nice. It's really nice.
And so we were at the Fringe, just like as punters. And then there was a gig that was specifically for people not doing Fringe shows. So in like the suite venues or something, like in a hotel.
Yeah. I thought it was like an airport lounge. It looked
like an airport. I think it was where like they do awards.
It was an office.
Corporates. And I threw her on the stage, and it was so bad what we did, but it was really one of the worst pieces of comedy you could ever imagine. But afterwards we were like, whoa, that was like weirdly great. And I think they were laughing because it was quite siblingy what was happening on stage. I had told her to pop a party popper at a specific time. She had missed that cue. The whole set ended up us sort of semi-arguing about the party popper. Then we started again. It went off again at the wrong time. And so we were like, oh, there's something
going on there.
There's something going on there.
Even though no one laughed. Maybe 2 people laughed. But it was just so funny because we came on in like raincoats with our ears out, and we were going, tie your kangaroo down, sport, tie
your kangaroo down,
and then just us shouting at each other. So that's how it started. And then Maddie was like, do it now. And I was like, no, we're not going to do it now. And then we completely forgot that the audience were there, and that's when the laughter started to happen. And then we were like, oh, we're like freaks, and there is a crowd for that, and we'll do that,
and we'll do that.
We'll do that. We'll be there for the freaks.
So then I guess after that, and now I'm telling our whole story. So it wasn't even the question, but we're going there. So then after that, we're like, let's do it again. Let's do time a kangaroo down. A kangaroo down again. So we started just doing like the circuit. We didn't want, to jump into Edinburgh. We really wanted to like just try everything. So we were doing the most random gigs. We were performing in like, basements of pubs and let me just tell them. Sorry, there's people. It's actually Ed Bye. So get out of our podcast. It's not for you, it's for us. He's gone. He was never here. So we started doing all those gigs, and then we did. I know you've spoken to some of these guys on your podcast already, but like we started really like we were picked up kind of by like the Weirdos collective, and our first gigs I really remember is with them, and like finding this group of alternative comedians who were like clowns and weirdos, and like that's really where we found like where we fit in. We were still turning up to stand-up nights, doing this weird stuff and getting no laughs.
Yeah.
But I'm really glad that we did, 2 years or so working the circuit, getting to know comedians and finding our people and finding our gigs and making like a name for ourselves, really, in that right.
Yeah.
And then bosh, Edinburgh.
Yeah.
Edinburgh.
And, everyone has, just to say as well, everyone has a different way of navigating, if their parents are in like the public eye, how they choose to utilize that. Zero judgment, whatever works for you. But I just think for Maddie and I, there would be times where maybe potentially certain fans of our parents would come to the show, and Maddie and I were disgusting and saying some of the most filthy things you've ever heard, and you could just see that they were slowly getting paler and paler.
They were mortified
because they were like, this isn't what I wanted. I was expecting this instead. Whereas when we have audience members who come in going, well, let's just try it out, apparently women can be funny, then they start then we developed our own unique following that way. So actually it didn't really benefit us necessarily. Obviously we're very grateful for some of the privileges you can get but like it just didn't really work that way for us, we felt.
And I think there is something, as you say, people do it in their own way. I think we felt a really strong desire to do it ourselves, and especially with comedy, like it doesn't matter who, well, I guess with any job, it doesn't matter who your parents are, you still have to be good at it. You still have to get the laughs, otherwise so I think it was really important for us to find those laughs and do that bit sort of ourselves independently. What was the question again?
What was the question?
It was about growing up.
That's sort of our life up until this moment.
But you talk a lot about this sort of clowny act, but Marina, you went the dramatic route. So, I mean, did you not want to have an elderly Frenchman ringing a bell at you and shouting? Does that not have that calling?
Well, it was interesting because Maddie would show videos sometimes of her having a breakdown to this old man, and I thought, what? Why?
Best days of my life.
But also, I know it actually changed your life. I think drama school as well has its own burning magnifying glass on you, and you like burn like an ant in a very different way to the way that you burn in clown school, but also pretty similar. They're just pulling you apart in every direction. And I did 3 years of that and I loved it. But I also was like, I think I'm done with these kind of, the 3 years was enough. And the other thing is, the kind of dynamic Maddie and I have, she's very much lighter, and I don't know how to nutshell you, but I would say you're more like easy going with it and up for throwing things out the window and going in a different direction. And what did you say? Basking in the flop or whatever you say it is.
That is so embarrassing.
Basking in the flop.
That is literally the kind of language.
Okay, basking in the flop. Because I'd be like, that was so bad. Like no one laughed, and Maddie would be like, no, Marina,
embrace it,
embrace the flop, and like lean in further to the flop. Whereas I'm like, I didn't time it. So there's like we had different ways, but what we actually realized over the years is it's funnier, I think, that I'm kind of there going, well, I'm far too good for this. I should be on the Globe stage.
Bristol.
She's demure. And so we would, like that kind of dynamic of me being a bit arrogant, which is also kind of true in real life, was quite nice in complemented the way Maddie would be a bit like, don't take it too seriously. And you did say to me, you would benefit, but actually I think the fact that I don't have that and you do, and I have one thing you don't, I think that dynamic kind of really works for us.
It really does. I wanted Marina to do clown even for like a day, just to kind of, when you taste off milk and you want someone else to taste it. It was like that. But actually she's right. I think she's such a thirst, sorry, but you are.
Yeah.
In siblings, that actually it works so well that there is an actor. I think probably the best story that like sums up that is in our first show in Edinburgh when Marina was. Now I think you're really quite clowny. If anything, I think we're almost swapping. I'm being quite an actor now.
Oh yeah.
And you're going off script. I don't know where you're going.
Okay.
You're improvising.
Maybe I'm getting coffee.
She's coming on with different moustaches. There's things I can't follow, but I do. Right. There was one in our first ever show in Edinburgh. All the tech, we were in the middle of the show and all the tech just went poof and shut off and we were pitch black. And so Marina naturally just went into a tableau. She just she went into like a frozen position and stayed completely still and silent. And I was like, this isn't going to work in this atmosphere. So then I ended up getting my phone torch out and singing like I was at Wembley or something. I was like, because maybe you can. Just trying to fill anything while all the audience were shining their torches. And maybe like 2 minutes later, it comes back on. This whole thing has happened. And Marina just comes out of tableau and literally says the next line in the show. And I was like, no, I actually have to stop you there. Did you just see what happened? I was like, no, what are you talking about? We must freeze.
No, we must be frozen in time.
It was really funny. Now, I don't think you do that. But it was so funny, the difference.
Yeah.
And there is something really funny about being like a very serious actor in the comedy sphere.
Yeah. Yeah. I also I think that it's interesting because it's like the stakes are weird for both of us. Like Maddie will be like, this is a really important gig, you know, Mr. McGonagall's here, Susan McBurnheim. and I'll go, okay, I don't know who these people are. And Maddie will be like, don't you understand? Glue boys are here. And they're huge. And I'm and I'm there like,
I want to see the glue boys.
Famous glue boys. They could make our careers. And I'm there like, I don't know who any of these people are. I'm just here to fart about. And I think actually there's something, even though that is really annoying for you, because you're like, Marina, you were just telling the glue boys about your sex life, and those are the glue boys. You didn't realize they were the glue boys. But I think
it's true.
I really do start having... I have really weird conversations with people and I see Maddie going like slightly white and then she comes over to me and it's like, you're talking to like the head of Melbourne. And I go, oh, I didn't know. But I think that's kind of nice.
Yeah,
it just means that we're both not, you're quite producery in your mind because Maddie actually produces Siblings as well. You thought it was weird. It gets weirder. It's getting weirder. She produces us. And so she's in the know about, you know, capacity,
capacity. You should know capacity.
Signing lighting, strobe. Are we going to have strobe?
That is it. That's it.
And
capacity and strobe.
Capacity and strobe. And I just kind of show up, but I think that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I mean,
there was that because she doesn't know, and I actually kind of like it. There was one show where I think it was Dominic Maxwell from the Times was in the audience, and there was a moment where Marina says, what do you do? And then tries to this was like 3 shows ago in the attic, and you try and like convince them to sign you as an actor or something like that. And immediately I said, don't do it, and immediately points at him and says, what do you do? And he went, I'm a gardener. And he went, no you don't, you've got a notepad in front of you. What are you talking about? And
I slapped about his
that was
notepad.
the time. He slapped about his notepad. I was like, that was the Times.
Do you remember the other time who was in? The Telegraph?
And you were like, oh no.
The Telegraph were in?
Yeah.
And I thought it was the Times, so I was going to make a joke about like loads of stuff, and you kept being like, you're getting the publicists confused because I have really bad dyslexia. So even with the knowing that important people are in, I'll still get it wrong and then make like a joke about it in the show that lands terribly because it's like I'm talking about the wrong publisher.
She's like Shortles in every night.
Yeah.
I was at an awards ceremony and desperately, awkwardly trying to flirt, if you can imagine such a thing.
Absolutely.
And then it transpired that very generous. And it transpired that the person I was talking to was actually runs the New Zealand Comedy Festival.
No. Oh, but you can flirt with that person.
I'll just take your card.
I think it would. Okay. But you could take. take the card and have
and
dinner.
take her on a date.
Take her for dinner.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
That's really good. The best is when you're flirting with someone and you don't know who they are. That's also when you find out later. It's really. I love those stories.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. That's my absolute.
No judgment, Mark. I am constantly in your situation. I do not judge.
So we talked about a little bit there about, what happens when things go wrong, maybe like when everything is plunged into darkness. And one of the things I love is going to works in progress, because everything isn't ironed out and it's all a little awkward and things go wrong and you drop a line here or there or whatever. And then but what I like is what happens immediately after that, how you react to that, how you deal with that. And so what I really want to know is, in those situations, do you try and make each other laugh? Do you keep things in the show that maybe don't work with the audience and you just think, but I think it's funny and we want to entertain ourselves and each other? Do you work with those ideas?
Yeah.
That isn't even work in progress. I think our game in the full finished show is to try and make each other laugh. And I think, definitely for us, we have to whip, because we write things that are really funny to us, and sometimes it is so
obscure,
not outside of this duo. We're like, what? We have to try it, because it's so far-fetched and so weird, and we have quite specific, I think, sense of humor. We find like really subtle, weird things funny that it just wouldn't be to a group of people.
No.
So, but our whole game in our live show is to make that eye contact where you could corpse. We try not to, obviously, but
no, I think that's we like to really use it as a selling point. Actually, I'm confident you'll never see the exact same show even if it's like completely finished and we're doing a tour, which we are going to be doing. You will never ever we'll be doing a
slide in
but you'll never see the same show, because also we purposefully leave space within a structure of improv. So, like the bit where I come on and off stage in different wigs, I'm really leaving it to like the gods, as the thespian would say, for something funny to come out of my mouth. And they are so filthy. At times you've had to say, just please don't say like bitch.
I've had to stop the show sometimes in these moments.
But I leave that to the environment and to Maddie, because I'm like, I need to make Maddie laugh, and the way to do it is to not let her know what's coming up at all. So interestingly, we have like an element of work in progress even in the finished piece, like written in, basically, like this bit's going to be
and it keeps it fresh as well for us. I think when you do a show over and over and over and over and over, you almost wish for those moments where you're like, what happens go now? Back to whip zone, but within a really like tight, structured, so everyone know where it's going. But so everyone feels safe. Also, the other thing is the show is hugely based around audience participation. We don't make them like dance.
We do actually. We do.
Don't tell.
Sorry. We do that. But we bring. It's a lot about this is very audience involved, and that in itself. I mean, human beings are like wonderfully different, and they do really weirdly different things on stage, and that as well means that we need to accommodate them. And if they're like, let's say, really nervous, we'll throw some things in the bin and work with them on that. Or if they're really cocky, we throw. So the mere fact that we have so many audience with us in this show also just means you cannot plan anything. You can't.
You actually can't.
There was one guy we had in Edinburgh. He was on acid. He was definitely. Oh no, he wasn't on acid. That was the other one. But he was on mushrooms or something.
I remember his wallet.
The really tall, lanky man. He was like looking at us, going, "Woo!" And then you picked him, and I went, "You idiot!" In my head,
I didn't realise he was on mushrooms.
He was so high, and he came up and was so.
He did a whole play. He did a play,
and so then we just sort of sat down in the audience chairs.
Let him go, let him go.
And then you realise, okay, well, we've gone like 15 minutes, so we might need to sacrifice something here or there or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. I love things going on.
Yeah. Well, what about the other side of the coin when we talked about you having fun with each other and trying to make each other laugh. What about sibling rivalry?
Oh, I hate Maddie.
We hate it.
I hate Maddie. I hate her. I hate her. No,
That's the end.
we don't really have any rival. There'll be times where I'll go to Maddie like, oh, you did everything you said, everyone laughed at, and everything I said, nobody laughed
But then
at.
I'll say that the next
And
day.
then Maddie will say it the next day. But I think it's gotten to a point where we also have our own lives. Luckily, we have our own things going on. So this is a sort of shared passion that we really just want to worship and not make toxic. I don't know how we would be able to, because we're also violently different as human beings anyway. But in my head, I'm going, well, I'm dropping the ball, but she's making them laugh. And thank God they're not wasting their money. And also it's like, if I can see you losing your confidence, I'll start chucking things at you to sort of wake you up.
Yeah.
And likewise. So it's just a real team effort, because it's sort of not about us. It's about the audience getting their money's worth and laughing. Like if we started getting competitive, I honestly don't think the show would be funny.
So bad.
It'd be really bad, because we
if it were real, because we do fake
rival. But if it was real, I think it would be the end of us.
Horrible to watch, actually.
Like Oasis.
Like Oasis. We could do that in the end. Like when we decide to quit.
Yeah, we'll start being rude.
Do a show where we're just absolutely horrible to each other and become Oasis.
Yeah, and I'll like leak stories to the Daily Mail.
Yeah.
Like Maddie is a pest.
The best headline. No.
Sorry, okay, cut that out.
No way, sis.
No
That's
Oasis.
No, Jesus.
Oasis. No, it was good. It was good.
I apologise for that. You said there about maybe losing confidence. Do you get like anxious? Do you get nervous? Do you lose confidence during shows or before shows?
Oh, interesting question, because I mean, we've been doing this now for so long, and all the Edinburghs before, I don't ever remember. I remember I get nervous before every show, definitely, because I know I have to lean against a wall and breathe and like squat and like I'm like, what,
Yeah.
I feel like every comedian has it, where you're just about to go on for an hour show and you're like, why have I chosen this? Why am I doing this with my life? This was a terrible decision. And then you go on and you're like, oh, I realise, because it's nice. But you always have that moment before you're like, what the actual hell am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, what? I'm dressed, I have a colander on my head. I'm like covered in fairy lights and slime. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
But I never remembered before this year being like super anxious. And actually this year, and I think it's because maybe we're a bit older, and I really liked this show that we've written, and it took us, we did a year off, so we took 2 years to make the show. I was so anxious, and I think it is really important to talk about it, because you think after all these years you wouldn't be, but I really had to like take measures to like not be anxious. I even felt it for the first time in my life during a show this year, and I was like, whoa, that's a new feeling. And so I had to really like find ways to like not be anxious around the show. I still had such a good time, but I think there's a lot of it in performing. It's like not really talked about very much, like how anxious people can get, and like being able to stop. You can stop the show and you can like have a second, or I never did that, but like you could, like remembering that you can. And 25, 26 shows in a row is like a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah, I think it's the feeling of like, I think, I don't know. Yeah, it's the more you care, the more nervous you get. I mean, like Maddie and I will make up a sketch that day and then have a gig that night, and we're like, should we just try it? And of course, every time you go on stage, you do have that slight feeling of the roller coaster just tipping off the edge, and then you're on, and then off you go. And it's sort of toss of the coin. Sometimes you go off the roller coaster and you're in the show and you're like, oh, I'm slightly behind myself, or I'm slightly in front, or you catch the wave, or it depends on the audience. That's what's so scary about. It's not like a play. You don't need to worry about, you're waiting audibly for validation, like laughter. And if you're not getting that, it's just right in the present. It's not particularly going that well, unfortunately. So it's like the stakes are high anyway in terms of being a comedian, but also exactly what you said. We really actually cared about the show, even though it is such a stupid show.
It's so stupid to care this much.
It's so stupid and to care this much. Two women in their 30s to care about being middle-aged scientists called Dr. Gargle and Raf Bamgi.
Putting a colander on heads.
But then actually you're like, no, I'll give myself some grace. I care about this. And it's scary to know that if it's silent, it's not working. In a play, it's different. I'm sorry, again, thespian-y, but
sorry, in the theatre.
Excuse me. So, you know, when I'm treading the boards at the Globe for Porter Hepley, when you tread the boards, you can get lost in that with the other actors, but with this, you're constantly, and it's scary because you're like, what if the audience just don't want to laugh, or like we've got a weird one, and that happens, and it can be
all the time.
But then it's quite fun because then you like break through to the other side, and then that's when it's amazing that we have each other, because if we're not having a good night and the audience are a bit like hesitant, we start to antagonize each other. And then it just makes it really fun. Sorry, that was really long. I went.
I thought it was a really good.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, Smiley. Thanks.
No problem.
We'll talk about this year's show, which we've been subtly alluding to throughout. But before we do, let's just talk about Edinburgh, which has come up as well. How has your experience changed from doing those festivals like year in, year out, between when you started out and to this year? How has it altered? How has your relationship with the festival changed?
I mean, it has changed a lot, I think. Like, I'm remembering doing the Free Fringe, and then we did all of them, actually. Marina and I were Free Fringe, Gilded Balloon, Underbelly, Pleasance.
Yeah.
And we did a whip at the Monkey Barrel, so we've really tested them all out.
Yeah.
But actually, I think it used to be, I remember it being that we didn't feel as much pressure. We felt more freedom to try new things during the Fringe, and even like rewrite. I think we rewrote half a show once during the Fringe. I think when we were at the Underbelly, and feeling like you can do that. And there was. I remember there being a feeling the pressure wasn't as high on the performers, in the sense that you could finish the Fringe with a really good show and then take it onwards from there. Whereas now it feels like, day one, preview one, your show has to be amazing. And I see people saying that, and I see producers saying that. And in a way, they've got a point. The press now don't come, like, they can't, no one can really afford to go. So there's a lot of press in that first preview. And then you know, I think we definitely still fart about and like change our show for fun. Yeah. But like with new people, I actually feel quite sad for them that they don't have the ability to just mess about at the Fringe, which I feel like it definitely used to be. Yeah. So I think the pressure, I mean, we felt the pressure this year. It was like, there's so much money to lose.
So much money. And we're really lucky. We are so lucky because of our own careers that we're able to muster together as a two enough money to be able to do it.
It's like my whole entire paycheck is on the Fringe.
And you still have to, and we're so lucky as well that we get offered. Maybe it might be just because we've just done it so many times. We're offered these like really nice venues, but your heart does break for people who have put so much money in, and they're just not in those like bigger venues that nobody goes and sees. And you're like, but the whole point of this festival, this is what this festival is built on, is that people are scouted and found and discovered in toilets.
Do a show in a toilet. I mean, actually,
it's not quite the same anymore as that, and that's okay. You know, we still chose to do it, but it's a different kind of sport now.
And what's annoying is that it's nobody's fault, really. Like, the festival has to become more expensive. The accommodation
doesn't have to.
It doesn't have to, but like it is, because it just, what can we do about that? And it is what's sad to me is it's cutting a lot of people out of the Fringe who should be at the Fringe or want to be at the Fringe. Maybe we just need to make a new Fringe. I do love the Edinburgh Fringe, but like we sold out. I know, not to sound braggy, but we sold out every single night, and we did not make any money from the Fringe. And that's just how it goes. So it definitely now, we used to do we did 4 in a row. Now it feels absolutely impossible to do it again this year. with a new show, like maybe we'll do some gigs, but
I mean, that's the other thing.
It's a bit sad.
We didn't do a full run
The year before.
2 years before. We had 2 years of just siblings and family friends, which was every Wednesday in the Dome. So we took a 2-year kind of break from the whole thing, which meant we could afford it. But
it is like, you know, you can tell when you're there, it's the greatest comedy festival in the world. You're like, oh, I'm surrounded by everyone's, you know.
Oh my God. And the things
like,
you get to see.
Yeah.
I can't even
We
explain.
go see the craziest stuff. Like
what was the one I saw about which one with the girl and the slime and the stick and poke? Oh, I shouldn't say it. In
the what?
The stick and poke. You didn't come, but she was completely naked the whole time.
Covered in slime.
Anyway, it was the best show I've ever seen.
Is that Rosa Garland?
Is that Rosa Garland?
What was it called?
Trash Salad?
No,
Primal Bog.
Witch.
Primal Bog.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Rosa Garland.
She's great. Yes,
Sorry. Again, Rosie, if you're listening, I don't.
Rosa.
Rosa. Oh God. Okay, cut it out, Mark. Cut it out.
Yeah.
I told you she can't remember anyone's names.
Just what I was saying was the stuff you get to see, and the fact that some venues are like, sure, you can do this, and that really wouldn't be allowed in like many places is an honor to be able to witness. Yeah.
But I don't know the future of it. I don't know. It's tricky because everybody, you know, as a producer, I've got like 200 messages already of people who want to go next year, and it is just one of those things where it's like, oh, it's never going to end, but it's just a bit disappointing how expensive it is, I think.
Yeah.
And the fact that you might not get the coverage that I think you would want.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a sad.
There we are.
That's a sad.
We didn't say anything funny in that.
We didn't make me laugh in that one.
But for your show this year, as you say, you had a great run and you're taking it on tour. So tell me all about the show.
Yay! Well, yay!
Horrible. Okay, we wrote this show with Dan Y, who's a genius. He directed us, and we worked very, very hard. A lot of the time it was Dan being like, can you two please just get, like, we would get kind of, it was a new muscle to exercise again of like, okay, regimented, like focus.
Timings.
I even started taking ADHD medication within the process that actually started to help.
That was one of the best rehearsal days we've ever had.
I was like, it was like I was on ecstasy. I had to come down a dose because the come down was, I mean, 60 milligrams of Elvance, I wouldn't do it. But yes, we were just like, we were just getting into the muscle of it. And then, but when we got to the Fringe, we were like, you know what, this is so silly. And like, you know, as I said, we kind of got our own things going on. So let's just really enjoy this. We sort of know we might not make a lot of money from this, but we feel like we're in a good place. We were like, when have we ever had a script as a show?
I know we had a script.
Can you believe Never had that before.
The show, shall I explain the show?
Yeah.
The show is, I think we came up with an idea like, oh, let's do a show about dreams, a sketch show about dreams. And we were sort of began thinking about like kind of horoscopes and like how there's so much dream, what's like Freud's dream analysis, what dreams mean, but really like in reality, nobody really knows. And is it a way to like make us feel better as human beings to have like an answer to things that are unanswerable? It started like that, very quite clever and deep. Then it ended with a colander. No, so we were like, let's put a hat on their heads and play their dream out on the stage, and they don't have to do anything, they just sit there. And then we went to a gig, I think at Hospital Tavern, we were doing a gig and we forgot the hat, and we were like, oh no, that's the whole thing. And someone was like, oh, I found this, and it was a giant colander from like behind the stage or something.
So there was a kitchen back.
We used that, and then that remained to this day. We're covered in fairy lights. That's the dream invention. So the whole show is sort of a format for a sketch show where we put this colander on audience members' heads and we can play their dream out in real time. Meanwhile, Maureen is playing a scientist called Dr. Gargle. Best dream expert in the world. And I'm the work experience. And naturally. And there's this whole kind of like weird storyline going on with us.
It's kind of like if you like imagine like Back to Back to the Future, like tacky musical version meets like Black Mirror meets Smack the Pony, I guess, is the sort of
meets French and Saunders, definitely.
But like it's kind of like we're playing these like old, you're like a young boy and I'm an old man, and we won't give anything away, but slowly we realize that dynamic has many just secrets that get unfolded.
Yeah, and there's an evil to the whole plan.
Because I'm also quite a big fan of, if I may, sci-fi and horror, big fan. And the fact that we started going in that direction, I mean, Maddie like studied psychology and was very into the Freudian thing. And then as it started to shift towards like, how would it work if like there's different wires in different people's brains? I started to have a really good time.
It's very sci-fi horror.
Very sci-fi.
That's the show. I mean, you can't really say it in a sentence. The sentence is like, we will backflip into your mind.
Yeah.
Like that's sort of all we can say.
But I will just add, I think what's so cute and amazing about human beings is that if you put like a hat or a colander or something on their heads and do a sketch that you'll tailor gently towards them, but it's obviously a pre-planned sketch. The look on their faces when they think it's about them, and the way that they look at the other audience in the colander,
it's their
is
moment.
The cutest thing I've ever seen, because you suddenly realize like, oh, we're all children really, even though we're adults, and to see a child in the adult look around going, oh my god, I swear I didn't dream this, I swear I didn't, or like they look around and go like, how did they know? is so wonderful, and that's 50% of the joy of it. And how they respond, and then also us moving them into the space in certain ways.
Yeah, that's interesting that as an audience member, I'm mortified if anyone's looking at me. I'm very much an observer, not a participant. So, but yes, there are a great many people who like to be involved and included. But there's this idea, this framework that you have there where once you put the hat on them, they are now out of the audience. They are now a character, and just by dint of wearing a costume.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think that's so true. And like a lot of people are like, you know, when they come in and say, don't choose me, because they have a feeling they're going to be chosen. But it's actually those people who are like, because we don't know who's up for it, who's not. I can see people coming in, and there's, you know, one or two where people do maybe join us, but none of it is like, and we'll leave you alone. You know, none of it is mean. We know so much the line, and we worked a lot on that line between, we don't want to put anyone in like a position where they're not comfortable or laugh at them. The whole thing needs to be a joke on us, for sure.
Yeah.
But those people who didn't feel like, who was, you know, I don't want it to be chosen, a lot of it is just sitting there with the helmet on. And there was a moment where, actually.
Yeah, now they know that they're safe. That we're not going to make them look like arseholes. We're the arseholes.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to say arsehole on this?
Can we say arsehole?
So you like.
Okay, arsehole. Well, we always make sure we're the biggest arseholes. And then that means that they go, oh, well, I only am going to look good. It's almost like we know that anyone who is being picked, we treat you like there's someone else in the audience you're trying to impress. I guess that's the way to put it.
There's someone you fancy.
So we'll always make you look kind of good. But then if you are a bit weird, perhaps we might throw a few things.
If you're up for it.
Yeah.
What about you as characters? Do you like inhabit the scientist and the work experience person? Do you become them? Are you acting? Are you completely in character? Or how much of you comes through? How much are you playing a version of yourself?
I mean, I'm literally wearing liquid eyeliner, and I have just a slightly lower register. In fact, it's just my own voice. But I mean, Dr. Gargle, I wanted to Daniel Day-Lewis.
He wanted to mess with that.
I wanted to walk around with my lab coat on the whole time and flirt with many, many elder women. Yeah. But alas, I wanted to have a social life out there. But I think that, it's an unspoken thing. We're definitely in the characters. When we're acting together on stage, I'm looking at you and you're Raf Bambi,
the work.
And I think you're looking at me and I'm definitely Dr. Gargle. But then there are moments, obviously, where we completely lose our mouth, laugh. How do you say it instead of the S word? How do you say
shit? Can you say shit?
Say shit on this, Mark?
Completely lose our
Please
shit.
do.
Now.
Please do. Yeah.
Okay, we lose our shit, and then that means that we break for a minute, but then I think we do like a kind of collective, like, back into the role.
What I think is that we've always done sort of sketch shows, where it's like sketch, the show is finished. And then before we had made a world where all the sketches were in the school. And this is the first one where there's an actual narrative.
Yeah.
And so working with Dan, I think as well, was like, we have to be the characters because that's the only way we can keep, if we were Maddie and Marina, it would be sort of weird. So we have to commit, but commit. There's a real funniness in us trying to commit to these characters with all this chaos going on.
Yeah.
And also we want to keep the sibling thing. So we wanted to make a narrative for the first time ever, but also keep that thing that people like seeing between us. So we do have siblings like written down.
As well in a siblings costume.
I realise it's not, part of the world, but,
it's also funny because
committing is quite fun, actually.
And also the reality is, even if we are playing ourselves, which we've done in the past with this sort of, we did sibling high, and it was about a high school, and we were Maddie and Marina, but as the head mistresses of the school, and we're still playing a heightened version of ourselves. Like you kind of do that anyway. So we thought, why not just like lean the full yard and be a middle-aged man and a young boy?
Yeah. And I also just can't. The idea of stand-up for me, I actually would love to throw myself in one day and just try it. Just because same feeling I had with clown school is like do something absolutely outside your comfort zone and just crazy. But like speaking in my own voice and being myself is something that's quite like alien to me. I really like playing characters and I find such a freedom in them. But like, I would quite like to try.
Why don't you try it? Anyone who's listening, Mark, would you mind if I plug Maddie?
Please do.
Put Maddie on a stand-up.
No, don't. Oh God, it's tomorrow. I've got a message. I've got to go. Oh God.
On that, do you find then, as a character, because it isn't you, you can basically say whatever you want. You've got that sort of freedom because you wouldn't say that. They'll say that.
Yeah.
You're distanced from it and therefore protected by it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like my character, Dr. Gargle, misses his wife a lot and he's obsessed with big boobs and
five guys
and big boobs. And I wouldn't. Why would I say that? I love big boobs, but I'm not going to talk about it in a show.
You're not going to say big
milky tits. But Dr. Gargle, who's this sort of jaded, like, lonely, posh man scientist, would talk about big boobs. So it's nice to talk about it with such passion when you're like, well, it's really nice to have a passion about that. And I don't have it in real life as much. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about watching comedy then? Is it still an entertainment for you? Do you go to comedy shows to be entertained, or are you like directing it, producing it, analysing it as you watch?
I think it's one of the best things you can do as a comedian is watch other people's shows, even just for like enjoyment, but also just seeing other people do it gives me the confidence to do it.
Yeah.
I also love watching whips. I think for me that's like clown joy because it's always something goes wrong or it's half written and they have to just make up half an hour.
Yeah.
It's my favourite thing. But I'm constantly, we're always watching. It's quite tough to watch a lot of stuff at Edinburgh, but I think since then, like every show that I've heard anything about, I've been at. It gives me the boost because you see how much fun they're having up there and you're like, It makes me happy that I'm doing it as well. And also for inspiration and like,
and we have a lot of friends.
We have a lot of friends.
We have a lot of friends. Okay, I swear.
Okay, I swear we have like 5 to 10 together.
We have comedian friends, and obviously, like, want to go support them, and then you're like, oh wow, I love this type of thing. What's this like? And then you want to see more. I often quite like watching things that aren't like us. I like sketch. I'm obsessed with that, but I also really like watching things that's like completely left field and weird.
Dance and plays.
Oh yeah. But like in the comedy world, even just like seeing really strange abstract stuff, you're like, God, this is amazing. This is like right.
Yes, actually, and I will say this only here, but it was Alan Rickman who said once that if you want to be a comedian, don't just watch comedy. If you want to be an actor, don't just watch plays.
Yeah.
You've got to go to like everything. Just like, and he would do it. He would go to like underground, I think in the vaults, like high school dance show.
Can you imagine
for like
what the high
£4?
school dance team would have done?
And he was just there.
Seeing him there
And
in
like,
the vaults.
You'd be like, excuse me, in the right. Are you? Yeah, no, but I forget that he said that. It only just reminded me talking about it. But like, it is, it's so important if you want to be creative in that way. It's like even art or like, dance and whatever.
Yeah.
Dance.
Peanut pouch.
I don't watch. I say it like I've gone to like 8,000 dance shows. I really haven't been to one in my life. But I will. Yeah.
Do you think that, given where we started this conversation, do you think that you had expectations of what doing comedy meant, or did you encounter many things that surprised you, or anything particular that stands out as a surprise to you?
Ooh.
That's actually a really good question.
I think because we have really kind of, I think we went in quite blind, and to be honest with you, I hate to say it, I still think we're kind of blind.
I think we have no fucking.
We don't really know what we're doing.
Yeah.
We don't have this like, which might be upsetting for some people. We don't have this like ambitious game plan to like, take over the universe. We're just kind of doing it because it just makes us really happy and like makes a lot of people happy. And actually, the more we do that, the more successful in turn we are. So I think nothing for me has like dramatically changed since when we started. It's just interesting that like as we've gotten older and the way that we approach the shows has become better. I think we're like a fine wine. We're a fine wine.
We age
the more we age, the better I think it becomes, because the better we taste. But I think that the stakes become lower and more different, and they shift, and like the tension, and you're a bit more relaxed in your body, and you're a bit. So it really, I think I'm just living in the present with what this world brings.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are moments where I see people really competitive and I go, oh, I'm definitely not you. And then I see people and they're like, completely carefree, and I go, I'm not you. It's just,
it's in the middle.
It's in the middle.
Yeah.
I don't know if that answers your question.
I think that there's something in there that it's quite easy to get sucked into especially the way Edinburgh is now, where you have to be amazing on the first day and this stuff. I think there is something in that is really important, is like when you take comedy too seriously, it can backfire on you.
Being kind of funny,
because you will perform to 5 people. Like we start off with 2 people in the audience. We did a stag do once. I can't go into that.
Wait,
remember? We did a gig and a whole stag do came in, and they were wearing tiny short shorts with 2 beers in each hand. And they dropped their beers because they were so confused what was happening in front of them.
Yeah.
But like, you have to do those kind of weird things and not be upset about them, because it is so much part of the journey, and enjoying it is, you have to enjoy it.
And maybe as well, maybe it's, there's potentially a part of me, this is a little bit like therapy, what I'm about to say, but maybe there's a part of me that's using that as a protection, oh, I'm easygoing, I don't mind. That could be because we can't forget how intense comedy is. I'm not walking in and going, hey, I don't care.
No,
I obviously do, but I think maybe there's a part of it that's allowing me to be free within the terrifyingness of it, to go, well, what will be, kind of surrendering. So I don't want to sound cocky, because I'm fully aware that there's a part of me that's saying that to protect myself, because it's such a painful career as well. To try and be funny and not have people laugh is I don't know what's worse. So I think there's obviously, I just want the listeners to be aware that I'm not going, oh, it's so easy. It's not. I think it's a survival technique, similar with acting. When you get rejections,
it's an important one, because it is that thing of, you've spent so long making the show and there's 5 people there. it is crushing.
So you have to be like, well,
to go.
let's make these 5. This could be the last time we ever perform. Let's make these 5 people piss themselves. Yeah.
That was very deep. I can't wait to hear that bit back.
So on the back of what you just said then, do you think that there's a single lesson that you've learned so far, something that informs what you do going forward?
Oh, God.
Oh.
Not
I feel
really.
like there's different. No, the answer is no. No, I think there's different lessons on stage and off stage. Like on stage for me has definitely been if you have an impulse or like something that you just randomly want to do it. Yeah. It may suck, but like that can sometimes, when I'm watching as well and I see that happens with someone, I'm like, that's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And that's really scary to do, but I always try and tell myself to do it, or like take the risk, because it's live and they want that live thing, and if it flops, it's hilarious to me at least.
Yeah.
Off stage,
I'll take this because you sort of taught me this. I have an ego, and sometimes I would go, well, why are they doing so good and we're not? And Maddie looked at me and said, this will be the end of you if you kind of let competition and jealousy get in the way. It's so ugly. It's a human thing. We can't shame ourselves. Obviously, we feel jealousy. It'd be weird to deny that. But to be loving to everyone and like, see other things and not compare yourself and not go, oh, they smashed and I didn't. Because actually, the comedy world is you can really see a lot when someone walks on a stage before they've even opened their mouths. You can see what their energy's like. And if you're consumed with jealousy or competition, it can often show on stage, literally. And also it makes the whole experience sort of terrible, and you miss out on making amazing friends, which is what we've really done. Yeah. And so I think off stage, I think there's healthy competition, and then there's like when it gets kind of ugly, and I've seen that in certain people at times, and I'm like, whoa, okay.
But you saw it in yourself.
I saw it in myself at the beginning, and that's Maddie said, you said so many great things. You said it's never the audience fault, because I'd go, oh, that audience was really bad. That audience was really shit. And Maddie would go, that's not the audience. That was you. And you have to deal with that. And then the other thing was, well, why are they selling out? Why do they get this? And you go, it's not good.
I always think it's better to be if you're friends with those people who are selling out and getting all the good things, and you're nice to people like that, it will only help you.
And they'll give
Whereas
you
if you're like,
money.
I'm going to throw eggs at your show, and then they'll give you their wallets,
they'll give you that
and
money,
then you can
their virginity, and then you can leave like a happy man, a rich man,
a rich happy man.
I don't know if
that's a good end.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, yeah, I'll make a note of that.
Okay.
Well, let's talk about then your comfort zones, because obviously we've talked about your show, we're talking about your comedy, because that's what this is all about. But as you say, you've got acting, you've got production credits. You talk about producing your show, Maddie, but you've done like many shows at the Fringe, and of course there's acting roles in TV and film and theatre. So much going on. So very, very busy lives. What's your comfort zone? Is it in the writing? Is it in working together? Is it being on stage? Where are you happiest?
Being on stage. Okay. I'm ready, drunk. No, I think being on stage, because a lot of the time I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this. It's all the way in. It's all the way in Greenwich. I don't want to travel all the way to Greenwich.
I hate to break it to you, but we're going a bit further than that.
I'm going to Australia. Yeah. But no, I think that there's times where I'm like, oh, it's a bit thankless. We're not making any money. I've lost money traveling all the way here. And Maddie's there like, just do it. It's good for us. It was good for us. Then we'd get up on stage and I'm like, oh, it all makes sense. Yeah. It all makes sense immediately. So I think that's our happiest. No, that's the end.
And being in a play.
Yeah, but that's
there's many happiest.
Maddie and I have like those, Maddie, but together with siblings, it's being on stage.
I definitely agree.
Yeah,
it's hard. It is a lot. We do a lot of different things, and I think most everyone I know in comedy has to have a job in order to do comedy, because it's not live stuff, because it's just Well, I feel like lifestyle, unless you're like, you get one of those sweet Deliveroo adverts.
Oh, yeah,
you get like
sure.
£15,000 for going, what?
Yeah.
I love those.
Yeah.
But I've never got one. Yeah, I feel like everybody has to have a job. And actually, I love, my whole job is in comedy. So I'm very happy. I love producing other people's shows so much. But yeah, the moment where we're laughing on stage is definitely my most comfortable, I think.
Yeah.
Weirdly, because it's also the most anxiety inducing.
Yeah.
But it's worth it.
Yeah.
You said about, obviously, you're touring the show and you've talked about playing far afield as Australia. So how do you find that your approach to your own comedy or your way your comedy is received in different locales is?
Oh, God, heaven knows. Yeah.
I think we've never done a tour before. So we've always wanted to like see what it was like to go to different places. And I feel like you do, well, not, you don't have to, but I feel like we wanted to wait until this moment where we had the show that we knew that we wanted to do loads.
Right.
And you have to sort of make a name for yourself, I guess, even fringy wise, to sell some tickets elsewhere. But yeah, I'm so excited to see because I have no idea. I feel like
we did Berlin. We've done Berlin. They were very confused.
They were very confused.
Very confused.
Where else did we? We've been
one hit in South Africa.
Oh my God, we did.
We did a gig in South Africa, and someone shouted from the crowd, "I think they're boys trying to be Australian." And that was
then someone went, "I think they're doing a dance,"
when we were doing a sketch, which actually was that was up there as one of my favorites.
That was insane decision.
But yeah, I think it's also just to be really basic, it's a really nice excuse to also just go see other places. And kind of also, I think with going to different places, you do get paid. So we're not like Maddie makes that face. She knows more about the money than I do.
We start to get there.
I know. It's the travel, but also, yeah, like I think if you have the privilege and you're lucky enough to be able to do what you do in different places, and you can do it because you see other places.
Yeah, I think. Well, we're also one of the places we're going is Abbas. That was a really good,
really basic.
If you do it when you do it and do it and do it.
You want to do it? Just do it. Yeah. See that? Just do it.
Just see that. One of the places we're going is Amsterdam, and I'm actually really
so excited
in Laura Rakote's venue, which I feel like is Mesrab, yeah, which I feel like is full of people who like this sort of clown thing, but not that it's clown, our show. So I keep saying it's clown.
No,
but it's expressive.
It's expressive theatre.
It's expressive.
Excited to see what they think of it. I think the Australians are really fun.
Yeah, we love
Australians. They have a similar sense of humour, I feel.
I've got a best friend who's Australian. She's the funniest person.
And looking at like Sam Campbell and Josh and all those people, it's like they're weirdos. And they're great.
I'm hoping yeah. So yeah.
So what so far then, out of all of that, have been your best and worst experiences from being in comedy?
Worst would be
when the guy was on acid during our show.
No, that was
kind of the best.
I think the worst has been when we did a gig to like 10 people and no one laughed.
When was that?
Not like first year. I mean, it's hard to explain because always looking back, the worst things were also kind of the best things. So it's very difficult to answer that question. Maybe when I cut my hand open.
That was bad.
This year I'd cut my hand with a bread knife and my mum was visiting. So I didn't want to show her what was happening, but there was a sort of fountain. So I was just gently pushing pressure and I was like, no, it's all good. We've got to go now. We've got to go do the show. And in the back of my mind, I thought, oh no, this thing's going to open because it was like right in the middle of the thumb and I'd probably needed to maybe go get like a little stitch, but I just didn't do that. And then as the show started with my mum who'd come to visit for like one night and a bunch of people we really knew and liked. And I think, anyway, I start talking and I look down and I'm literally, sorry if people are squeamish, but dripping like a tap from my hand onto the floor.
The whole set of our show is white lab coats. There's 35 maybe white lab coats. every single one of them within the first like 30 seconds of the show was
Just
covered in blood.
And there's something very unfunny about blood. Annoyingly, that you can't.
If it's real
blood, it's hard to come back from that. So what I did was I looked at Maddie and went, "Oh no!" And then Maddie came over with duct tape and just duct taped my hand.
Her hand closed,
so it was like a stump,
but with white duct tape.
So with white duct tape. So for the rest of the show, I had one hand that was like a fist and one that was free. So everything had to be negotiated. And then at one point, as a joke, because I thought, how do I make it funny that I'm bleeding this much? I wiped it down the lab coat to be kind of like outrageous, maybe kind of Cirque du Soleil. No one really laughed.
Cirque du Soleil.
But then at the very end of the show, Maddie posted on Instagram going like, well, that's a first, like getting through a show with like literally one sibling leaking. And loads of people commented
Everyone thought it was part of the show.
Are you joking? We thought it was a plant. We thought it was
part of the show. And it's like, what? How? It had no
relevance to anything.
It had no punchlines. It had zero. And everyone was like, I can't believe that wasn't real. That wasn't part of the show. And it's like, should we write that in?
It
doesn't
make sense. It was really stressful. I think after that, I like went and sat in silence with a pint, and you went and produced Mr. Chonkers straight after that. So you ran off,
and then I almost fainted in Mr. Chonkers.
And then she almost fainted,
and I was like, "Why did I nearly faint?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, because I just did a whole hour show covered in my sister's blood."
My sister's blood. So that wasn't actually fun. That was actually quite upsetting, I think, for us, because we were just like, anything else, I wouldn't even mind if I like shat myself. There's something funny I could make.
If you shat, you would rather shit yourself.
I don't know. At least there's something kind of funny there.
Yeah, it is
bleeding quite profusely out of your hand, especially in front of your mum as well. Mum was like
mortified.
She was like, if that had gone on any longer, I would have stopped the show.
And it's like, I would have killed you.
She was like, I would have paused it. But luckily, because I held my hand in a fist, I put pressure down on it.
But you went for a pint.
Yeah,
after significant blood loss, you then thinned your blood.
No, I thinned it even more. Well, I had a really attractive medic come and help me out.
The Pleasance, shout out to the Pleasance medic.
Shout out to the Pleasance medic.
I got an eye infection and they were there in 5 seconds, opening my eyeball up, squeezing into my eye.
They were amazing.
They were amazing and all very attractive.
Yeah, all very attractive. So that
was bad. Yeah. What was good?
I don't know. There's just been nights where we've walked off. I remember it in Edinburgh, like we'd walk off standing over each other and be like, "Wow, we were on fire." Like you can tell we're ping ponging in the right way. You know, coming up with things on the spot that feel good. The audience are also really weird. They're laughing at the same things we find very funny, and that just, I don't know how to explain that. It's just you literally go like, "Oh, how satisfying!"
On top of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how can listeners find out all about the two of you and where they can come and see you performing?
Well, luckily, we just got our brother. That's correct. We have
another sibling.
He is a computer guy.
He's smart.
He's not in comedy.
He's rebelled.
Yeah. He rebelled.
He lives in the attic and we slide food in there every so often.
Via ant.
Ants bring up his food. So we just forced him to create us a website. So you can find it all on siblingscomedy.com. And there is all the dates. So we're going to, where are we going? Edinburgh. Back to Edinburgh. And in Edinburgh, we're going to have special guests within the show. Don't know how that's going to work.
Well, like the dreams are.
Some of the dreams will be comedians.
Yeah.
So we'll try that out.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. And then Manchester.
We're going to Manchester.
And then Leicester, of course.
Leicester. We're going to Amsterdam.
We're going to Brighton. We're going to Bristol. We're going to Soho
Theatre.
For a week. And then we're going to
Australia. Wait, which bit in Australia?
Adelaide.
Oh, yeah. Adelaide.
Melbourne. But Melbourne's only two shows. But Adelaide. And then I hope we didn't miss any off there.
I don't think we did, no.
Well, we can look here.
Creaky cabin
we can look
Brent.
here on siblingscomedy.com.
No, we said everything.
We said that. That's how you can find it. Please come. We hope this is sold.
We really hope we sell.
People could now come thinking it will be like therapy session and or
it can be that. If the audience want that, we'll change the whole show.
We'll let go of the script if you come.
All comedy shows are arguably a therapy session.
True.
Arguably they are, yeah.
True.
Yeah.
So we've reached the end, and my final question, which of course is the title of the show: how would you sum up comedy in a nutshell?
You can have it.
No. Okay. How would you sum up comedy in a nutshell? Broken people.
Yeah. Wait, let's do it together.
Oh, okay. Broken people who crave validation, but they are really good at making people laugh. So we encourage the illness.
That was not rehearsed.
Okay, so there you
That
go.
came from Marina.
That's it in a nutshell.
Beautiful. Maddie, Marina, thank you so much for being my guest today. It's been brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
It's been so
Wonderful.
fun. Yeah.